Welcome to this edition of McAllen Update. I'm Roy Canthu.
And I'm Roxanne Lerma. Today we are back out at the McAllen Convention Center, the stage for the 2015 South Texas Hurricane Conference. This year's theme, Resilient Regional Communities, Tools for Today and Tomorrow. This annual conference provides a forum to advance the hurricane preparedness capacity for the Rio Grande Valley.
Community leaders meet to discuss current trends and topics and provide information about the latest tools and technology in emergency preparedness management and homeland security. The city's code enforcement department is a key part in the emergency preparedness plan. Roxanne Lerma has the story.
That's right, Roy. Getting ready for severe weather is all about teamwork. Our city can't do it without the help of our residents. Telling us more about that, joining us now, Josh Ramirez, our Health and Code Enforcement Director. Thanks for being with us.
No, thanks for inviting me.
So tell us what residents can do to make our life easier here in the city of McAllen.
Well, one of the first things you do is make an inspection of your home. Make sure that you assess your home. The trees play an important role during the whole year, provide shade, provide nutrients to the soil and to the environment, but at the same time we have to be careful that we trim those long branches and don't become a hazard for our home either. Once the wind starts picking up, once this climate starts changing, we have probably a tropical storm or probably another fast winds coming through the area, we need to make sure our trees are properly trimmed so they will not affect the roofs of the homes. Once a branch hits a roof, we have a possible tear in the roof. It will create a lot more damages to the home. So it's important that we start making an assessment, making an inspection of our homes. Remove all the brush debris that's in the surrounding of the home. Preferably you place it on the alley or in the front, depending where the city picks up the brush. That way we can collect it before any tropical storm or anything comes our way.
It's always important to do it and do it now when we're talking about these timelines. Yes, our hurricane season hasn't started, but we have a tendency to procrastinate and then we wait and it's too late.
Right, let's prepare ahead of time. Let's not wait for that to happen exactly. But one of the things that it is time that we do an assessment way in advance. That way at the last minute we're not running, we're not in a hurry to trim the trees. Let's go out there right now. It's perfect timing. It's a beautiful day outside. Go check the areas and maybe you have to hire someone because the trees are too tall for you. We don't want you getting hurt either. And hire the proper equipment, the proper team to do it for you. And don't allow anybody, or especially children, like to play in the floodwaters. Don't let them play in those floodwaters. Those are contaminated. There's a lot of contamination in there coming from the sewage and also from the nearby ditches that sometimes they get a lot of trash or other debris and then they come back into the system. The other storm system that we have is the other hole in the street is for the storm system, the rain gutter. That will take it to the ditch where the rain can go in a different direction. Now that in itself also gets backed up. So we have to be concerned and aware that we need to remove anything that is blocking the way make sure that it drains properly. And if it's not draining, call the city so we can go and inspect it.
Excellent. What's that number if they need to call?
Call 681-1000 or 681-3111.
Okay. Thank you, Josh, so much for joining us and some valuable information. And again, it's all about teamwork. Our city can't do it without our residents, and so we have to partner up. Roy, now back to you.
Hurricanes are strong storms that can be life-threatening as well as cause serious property-threatening hazards such as flooding, storm surge, high winds, and tornadoes. Preparation is the best protection. Know the difference between the threat levels and plan ahead for your family. During a hurricane watch, hurricane conditions are a threat within 48 hours. Review your hurricane plans. Get ready to act if the warning is issued and stay informed. In a hurricane warning, conditions are expected within 36 hours. Complete your storm preparations and leave the area if directed to do so by authorities. During severe weather, the city's emergency personnel hit the front lines. Roxanne Lerma joins us now with how the fire department prepares for a hurricane.
That's right, Roy. The McAllen Fire Department is obviously a key part of our emergency preparedness plan. Joining us now to tell us a little bit more about that, our Deputy Chief, Amado Cano. Thank you for being with us.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Good. So tell me a little bit about what the McAllen Fire Department does to prepare for severe weather such as a hurricane.
Okay, the fire department on a daily basis, we check our equipment, all our equipment, make sure it's ready to go. However, during hurricane season, we do run load tests and do preventive maintenance on our generators to make sure our stations will have electricity for the men to be able to stay in the station, also our radios and everything to be functional.
Okay, I also understand that you switch a little bit your dispatch operations and everything is in-house?
During a hurricane or severe weather, we get the calls. We have extreme amount of calls, so we prioritize them. We have a captain or a deputy chief and myself that will prioritize lines down, lines arcing, compared to rescuing somebody. And we communicate with our EOC at all times to make sure we are taking care of all the citizens in our area.
So that's probably one of the things that we want to remind our residents. You don't want to be out there doing the rescues. We want them to stay indoors.
That is correct. Please stay indoors if told to do so. And if you ask to evacuate a certain area, please evacuate, because if you don't, we're going to have a large amount of people we need to move out from one certain area at a minimal time, and we will take most of our resources.
All right. Deputy Chief, thank you so much for joining us. So obviously we all need to do our part. The McAllen Fire Department needs your help. And so you got to stay tuned to the McAllen Cable Network. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roxanne Lerma.
If you'd like more information on the South Texas Hurricane Conference or any of the stories in our newscast, join our social media family. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our City of McAllen YouTube channel. We provide daily updates of events and issues important to our community. We also recently added Instagram as one of our new platforms. We invite you to share your thoughts with us on social media.
The McAllen Police Department is prepared for any severe weather or possible hurricane to our city. With more than 200 police officers on the force, the police department has to be ready for any kind of mishap. Part of the planning is watching for inclement weather. Chief Victor Rodriguez says there are several plans in place before our community sees any effect before, during, and after an event.
During that hurricane season, we watch clouds forming off the African coast. I mean, we watch everything out there in the Gulfs. We watch everything out in the open Atlantic Ocean. We watch these things because that's where the seeds of these hurricanes come from. So we're watching those developments on a daily basis.
As soon as any hurricane or severe weather passes, police have to be ready to be dispatched to any area of town. The police department wears many hats, from providing security and safety to, of course, responding to emergencies. The city's emergency plan has shelters available if needed. The city works closely to monitor situations in low-lying areas. Roy Cantu has much more on preparing to shelter your family.
Thanks, Roxanne. We're talking about severe weather and hurricane preparedness. It's that time of the year again. And of course, the McAllen Parks and Recreation Department assists a lot in providing shelters during hurricanes, during severe weather, if needed. So we're here with Mike Hernandez, the Deputy Director of McAllen Parks and Recreation. Sort of tell us a little bit about what do people do to sort of be prepared for severe weather?
Well, I guess the best thing is always have an emergency kit. Whether it's clothing for a few days, emergency documents, medications, and obviously think, if we're in a possible shelter, how many days? Let's say 3 to 5 days. What do I need? Do I need always have extra medication or sufficient medication? And make sure that you're always prepared with thinking of your children, for any family members, any elder, and of course, last but not least, is always think of your pet. That's something that is very important, and we always have accommodations to assist people with their pets as well.
And of course, y'all try to make it as comfortable as possible, but if people bring some of their, their pillow, a blanket, it couldn't hurt them, right? It makes them feel comfortable at home.
Correct. We will have a room, perhaps, let's say, to start, but if they want to bring their blanket, their pillow, anything to keep the children occupied or entertained, a book, a table game or something, and usually the community just comes in and says, hey, look, we have extra cots, we have games, we have books. We've been very fortunate in the past to where that's never an issue, but we do encourage for people to be prepared and think of, what would I need if I were at a community center or a shelter for, a few days or for even up to a week if need be.
So a good family plan sort of does help. If you have your passports, your birth certificates, important documents, also would be a good place to have them.
Yeah, they should always be kept in a safe place, and that's always something important. If you need to evacuate your home, that's something that should be with them at all times.
And of course, the City of McAllen never activates a shelter unless the emergency officials designate that McAllen should have shelters. So we'll keep you informed here on MCN 12. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roy Cantu.
Thanks, Roy. In other news, here's some more important information from our McAllen Fire Department on what you can do to prepare for hurricane season.
Hi, I'm Amado Cano, Deputy Chief of the McAllen Fire Department. It's hurricane season again, and we want to make sure you and your family stay safe. You never know when or where a hurricane will strike. A hurricane preparedness checklist is vital to surviving a hurricane. And now is the time to prepare before a storm threatens our area. Step 1. Have a family plan. Everyone in your home should know what to do if a hurricane strikes. You should always have an emergency kit ready to go. That includes a ready supply of food and water. 1 gallon of water per person per day is the recommended amount. Have canned or boxed food that won't spoil. At least a 7-day supply of medications is also suggested. Have a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio to keep abreast of the weather updates. A flashlight and extra batteries are a must. Prepare any special items you might need for infants or the elderly. Have pet food and extra water prepared for your pets. Remember that hurricane season runs through November 30th, so just because last year was a quiet hurricane season doesn't mean this year will be. Be smart and be ready. A friendly message from the McAllen Fire Department.
Preparing for severe weather is an ongoing project for the McAllen Public Works Department. Here's our Roy Cantu with that story.
Thanks, Roxanne. We're here at Public Works to talk to the Director of Public Works, Carlos Sanchez, a little bit about getting prepared for hurricane season and severe weather. Carlos, what your residents do at home?
Okay, well, hurricane season is right around the corner, June 1st, and so throughout the year, we implore, just like the City of McAllen does, prepare year-round, is that citizens need to be prepared also. From a personal level, we ask them to be prepared with an evacuation plan, taking care of their personal property. In personal properties, what I'm referring to their yards, for example. A lot of debris gets airborne when we get high winds, especially during hurricanes or even severe weather. And so that debris, those airborne items, tend to end up in our drainage system, clogging up storm sewer lines and so forth. And so we ask the public to be prepared, be ready, stay informed with our communication channels of severe weather, so that if a severe weather is impending, they take the appropriate actions of securing items such as their black and blue bins, basketball backboards, swing sets, that type of material that can be easily airborne and again create some issues for us.
Carlos, you oversee 14 divisions here at Public Works, from streets to drainage to trash to recycling. It's springtime, so a lot of people do spring cleaning. If there's severe weather coming to our area, this is a good time to bring it in instead of let it stay outside, right?
That is correct. One of the preparation items that we also implore the citizens to do or to take a proactive plan on is to trim their trees. The City of McAllen has a well-versed brush collection program that picks up services every residence at least once a month. We'll pick up brush, we'll pick up debris, but we also have our recycling center that provides that service where the citizens can bring in bulky waste also. And so we're open Monday through Saturday, actually.
And people, when they get ready for hurricanes, the first calls we start getting is, are there sandbags? And you wait for that last minute to sort of get the word from the emergency officials, now I'm going to distribute, correct?
That is correct. And again, here what we've done in the last couple years is that we work collectively with other municipalities here in the region, so that we do it all at one time. And so we're using social media, the media channels available to make those announcements. And so we encourage the public to stay tuned.
Well, thank you very much, Carlos. And you can continue to watch MCN 17.12 during any emergency situation. And we will keep you informed of what Public Works wants residents to do at home. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roy Cantu.
Don't wait until severe weather is upon us to act. Talk with members of your household and create an evacuation plan. Planning and practicing your evacuation plan minimizes confusion and fear during the event. Learn about your community's hurricane response plan. Plan routes to local shelters. Register family members with special medical needs as required, and make plans for your pets to be cared for. And always evacuate if advised by authorities. Be careful to avoid flooded roads and washed out bridges. That wraps up another edition of the McAllen Update. Be sure to catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on McAllen.net. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roxanne Lerma.
And I'm Roy Cantu. Remember, hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, so start your planning now. Thanks for joining us.